Hello and welcome to Education Up 123. In today's biology topic, we will be discussing eukaryotes. Eukaryotes are any organisms that have eukaryotic cells in them. This cell here is a eukaryotic cell. To be more specific, it is a plant eukaryotic cell. The reason why it is a plant eukaryotic cell is because it has a cell wall, which is this red structure surrounding the cell, and it has these little green dots studded around the cell, which are the chloroplasts in which photosynthesis is done. Now, what makes this cell a eukaryotic cell is that it has a nucleus in the middle. If a cell has a nucleus, it is a eukaryote. If it's missing a nucleus, it is a prokaryote. So the nucleus is what differentiates a eukaryotic cell from a prokaryotic cell. So anyway, let's talk about the structures. First, as we said, you have an outside structure called the cell wall. It is meant to be strong and rigid to help protect the cell. Now, for a plant cell, for this particular cell, the cell wall is made out of cellulose, which is a type of sugar. Let's start with the outside. Then you have the cell membrane. The cell membrane is a selectively permeable phospholipid bilayer, which means it is a type of fat or lipid that can choose what goes in the cell and what comes out of the cell. Choosing what goes in and what comes out is called selective permeability. Being that it's a lipid, it is called a phospholipid bilayer. Inside the cell, you have these little studded black things. All these studded black things all around the cell are ribosomes. Ribosomes help synthesize proteins. What does that mean? These ribosomes actually make the proteins that the cell uses. And you will see protein is a very significant carbon molecule to have in the cell. Now, where are these ribosomes made? They are made in the nucleolus, which is inside the nucleus. This little structure here is the nucleolus in which ribosomes are synthesized. On the outer layer, you have the nucleus, which contains the DNA, like we said before, which makes it a eukaryote. Now, these double membrane structures here are mitochondria. Now, mitochondria are responsible for cell respiration, in which energy is released from oxygen and glucose. Then you have these interesting structures here. These are the endoplasmic reticulums. Now you have the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, which is up here, which is basically the transportation for the cell. It also synthesizes fats and lipids, but the smooth endoplasmic reticulum is mostly for the transportation of ribosomes and other things throughout the cell. Then down here you have the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Now, what differentiates the rough endoplasmic reticulum from the smooth is that it has ribosomes studded on it. You see the ribosomes studded, which means protein synthesis takes place on the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Now, another thing that makes this a plant cell, as we said, is this structure here. Now, this is green because it has a green pigment in it called chlorophyll. Now, that's a chloroplast. That's where photosynthesis takes place. That's how a plant cell gets its food. Now, you also have here this blue thing here is a lysosome. Now, lysosomes are these little structures, little organelles in a cell that eats either worn out, old, dead, or foreign objects in the cell. And this up here is the Golgi apparatus, which actually sorts the proteins synthesized by the ribosomes. So basically, this is basically how everything happens. The ribosomes are made in the nucleolus. The ribosomes make protein. The protein is organized and sorted in the Golgi apparatus. The Golgi apparatus then sends it to the endoplasmic reticulum, where it is transported throughout the cell. Now, the only thing we have left is the cytoplasm. Now, the cytoplasm is just the goo, which it's made out of cytosol, which is the gooey stuff, and then the organelles, which we just discussed. Now, the cytoplasm is interesting because it gives the cell liquidity, which means it can't be broken, which means you can press on the cell and it won't break or crack because the cytoplasm is gooey. This is basically it for a eukaryotic cell. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful, and thanks for watching.